But I think you're really out of line.
Friday the 13th, The New Beginning, or Part 5, is an interesting film, as once again it flips the script on who the slasher is in the Friday the 13th series. With Jason dying in the previous part and Paramount wanting the franchise to continue, they had to resort to the old copycat killer idea, which in retrospect is kind of a neat concept as a standalone film, but if I was a fan patiently waiting for the next installment in the franchise, I would feel a little bit teased, as this Jason certainly doesn't live up to the original's legendary status. Thankfully, all future installments of the franchise would return to our sports mask wearing friend Jason, but we'll get back to how that happens in like a year when I decide to review the 6th film in the franchise. Anyhow, Friday the 13th, A New Beginning follows an older Tommy Jarvis who has PTSD after the events of Part 4, landing him in a psych ward that is also pretty much a summer camp for disturbed teens when a fellow mentally ill camper, or patient, I'm just gonna call them campers, was killed by another camper, and all the campers start getting killed one by one by Jason, but spoiler alert, it's not Jason. It was the first camper who was murdered's dad, who was out for revenge after seeing that his son was killed. The film kind of feels like an episode of Scooby-Doo with all the red herrings, including the neighbors, the bad boys who want to kill everyone, Tommy himself, and the hick neighbors actually have some pretty fun moments, but they mostly just swear a bunch, and once in a while it happens to be funny.
You big dildo. Eat your fucking slop.
Going back to the red herrings, and the ultimate killer being Roy Burns, the father the kid killed at the start. I don't love this twist. It's kind of like the pieces would be there, but we don't really think the kid has family, as the film says at the start.
I never had anything to do, maybe in an orphan and all. Orphan.
So it kind of feels out of the blue that it was his dad. And I guess I kind of get his motivation for killing people at the psych camp, like I guess. But why does he kill people in the van towards the start, or the neighbors, or anyone else really? Like, at least Pamela wanted revenge on horny counselors, a breed of people she saw as a danger after the death of her son Jason. But if Roy was out for revenge on the mentally disabled, in much the same way Pamela was camp counselors, then why would he be killing these random people along the way? And when you think about it, the mental issues he has for killing people are similar mental issues to the person who killed his boy. Wouldn't he need to then kill himself to end the cycle of violence he's perpetrating? I can try to psychoanalyze this character, but what it ends up being is just a loose setup for a slasher film. And I kind of see what they were trying to do, trying to bring back Jason without really bringing back Jason. Heck, the last film was called The Final Chapter, so I think Paramount kind of wanted to find a loophole to continue despite the final chapter being told, which ironically they just ended up breaking with the 6th film anyways, but they kind of failed in doing that, especially when you consider the fact that Roy Burns kind of comes out of nowhere and his character's motivations really make no sense. The kills in this movie feel kind of weak, honestly. A lot of its off-screen kills are just quick and easy effects. Not really the cool stuff we got used to in previous installments, which is probably the most disappointing aspect of this film. Like, in a film like this, I can forgive a bad or weak story like this has, but if it has good kills to make up for it, then I usually have a pretty good time. And this film really lacks the effects and creativity of entries like Part 4, which I would say was kind of a highlight for the series in terms of the gore. If I can say one thing positive about the film is that it's not shot incredibly bad for an 80s B film. I mean, it's not crazy, but I appreciate that it's competently shot for the most part. And I like Jason's design in this one. The blue mask makes a subtle but very appreciated difference in appearance from the original slasher. I also think the setup at the end, hinting that Tommy will take up the Jason mantle, was kind of cool. It's just too bad it goes nowhere in the future installments, especially since he comes back for Part 6. I would be interested to see a world where we ended up getting a film where Tommy was the main slasher, but alas, the franchise went in a separate direction. Honestly, I don't have much to say about this film. It has its moments, but overall it just feels like a bland attempt to revitalize this franchise with very few memorable characters besides Tommy, and even that kind of feels like a pullover from Part 4 and 6 respectively, rather than the take John Shepherd had itself.